Before I talk about how redistricting has been fair, I want to make a whole video venting about Ohio because Ohio really what the hell. So you had the old map. The old map was a pretty bad gerrymander. You had 3 Democrat-leaning seats, 12 Republican-leaning seats, and a toss-up. This says even really Tim Ryan has always won by large margins, except when it nailed down in 2020, because that's when his district, the 13th district, began to narrow down in its competitiveness. So honestly, if there was to be a red wave, then it never really happened before. It was 7.6% in 2020, but before that, as you could see, safe blue. And a gerrymander was essentially because they flipped 5 seats in 2010, and they kind of wanted to preserve it that way, heading into future elections by essentially just gerrymandering the state to oblivion and making 75% of the seats blue. Well, what they did now in 2022 was double down on it. You have 2 toss-ups. One that's Democrat leaning in the first, where the Republican is likely to get ousted, but another Republican leaning toss-up. So it's really now 12-3, now 12-2. Look at Marcy Kaptur, district sacrifice. Tim Ryan, well, his district was clearly sacrificed. They got rid of it. And I mean, it was already a gerrymandered map. Republicans typically win less than 55% of the vote, so having 80% of the seats be Republican on average just doesn't add up. Look at the efficiency gap. Republican was 20. In a 4-3 vote, they invalidated the old map, but they were able to, by running down the clock, have the map go for 4 years. And there were some really just fair proposals to make fair maps. Now, I don't necessarily want to say that this map was fair, because I mean it could slightly be a Democrat gerrymander. In some ways, I don't really like it. For example, what the Democrats did here was they made it so that Cincinnati would have a blue district. Instead of a toss-up, Columbus would get 2 blue districts. Cleveland, there would be, potentially 3 blue districts, and then there was also this one in the north. So, really, in a normal year, this map would wind up being 10-5, which I think is actually relatively fair. I mean, I don't particularly like it, but I also have a slight Republican lean. I'm against gerrymandering, but I mean, this is a pretty nasty map. I mean, what you can see that they do here is they make it so that you only have 5 totally safe districts, but you only get the Democrats 2 districts, one of which, the one around Columbus, is a bit competitive in of itself. And they really do a good job gerrymandering the state. Now, if there's a really strong blue wave, then this map could actually have a very strong Democratic majority, but waves are getting weaker. The nation is getting more polarized. And they really just crack the state down and down and down to the ground. Wait, why isn't my screencastify working? Please. Okay, my screencastify is being weird. I'm very sorry about this.